They say that you should never poke the bear. Back in 2011, Dirk Nowitzki was the bear.
Terry to Nowitzki, puts up the three, puts it in! Dallas goes up by 3!
Apparently, LeBron James and Dwayne Wade missed the memo. In summer of 2010, the NBA was on fire. LeBron James, the NBA's best player, had the decision. A huge TV show where his free agency choice would be announced. He decided to take his talents to South Beach in hopes of winning his first championship.
In this fall, man, it's very tough. In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
Miami Heat.
LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh projected to be a deadly trio, and the Miami Big Three was born. LeBron was so confident that he declared the Heat would win multiple championships before they'd even played a game.
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7.
This was where he first poked the bear, the proverbial bear that is the basketball gods.
Brother, it is time for the mortals to pay.
You can have the talent, skill, and drive, but above all, you gotta respect the game. That Miami Heat pep rally set the stage for what was to come as the Heat started off real slow. After losing their first game to the Boston Celtics, they tried to hold off the naysayers with confidence and a message of patience. LeBron was quoted saying, "It's a feel-out process. Rome wasn't built in one day." D. Wade expressed the same idea with a little bit more punch when he was quoted saying, "Sorry if everyone thought we were going to go 82-0. It just ain't happening." Things got really shaky after 17 games where the Heat found themselves 9-8 and searching for answers. Fans who hated LeBron's decision were ecstatic about the Heat's struggles. There were also those in media who started to question if this experiment would work. Because honestly, a team with 3 elite players, one who's the best in the league, shouldn't have these problems. Eventually, they started to find a flow, and at one point, winning 12 straight games. The Miami Heat went on to have a great regular season, with a record of 58-24. The Miami Heat looked every bit as dominant as many thought they would. The Heat felt great heading into the playoffs with the first-round matchup against the Philadelphia 76ers. Philly was talented, but Miami was just on a different level. After dispatching the 76ers 4-1, the Heat would go up against their future arch-rivals, the Boston Celtics. The Celtics featured their own Big Three with Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen. This would turn into an eventual war down the line. However, in 2011, the Miami Heat were clicking on all cylinders, and they handled the Celtics quickly, winning 4-1. Up next was the conference finals, where they would face the Chicago Bulls and the NBA's MVP, Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose was an absolute nightmare cover, but unfortunately, he was the only true source of offense for the Bulls. Not to mention, back then, LeBron's amazing athleticism and speed allowed him to provide good resistance against the MVP. More importantly, the Miami Heat had found their groove, and they would end that series winning 4-1. Finally, the moment they had been waiting for, the NBA Finals, and their opponent, the Dirk Nowitzki-led Dallas Mavericks. By this point, pretty much everyone knew Miami was going to win the title. According to Vegas at that time, the Heat were a -180 to win the series, and the Mavs were +160. In the first game down in Miami, the Heat were locked in. They took a solid lead in the series, bringing in the firepower from the Big Three. LeBron James dropped 24, Dwayne Wade with 22, and Chris Bosh with 19. Everything was going according to plan. Game 2 was a battle, going back and forth until the fourth quarter when Miami built up a 15-point lead. It felt like they were cruising to another W. Unfortunately for the Heat, the Jet, Jason Terry, was in the building. In just over 3 minutes, he put up 8 points, turning the game around for the Mavs with a 15-point comeback for the win. Left the Heat shell-shocked. The series moved to Dallas in Game 3, with the Mavericks hoping to get a win on their home court. Dirk played great, but unfortunately for the Mavericks, Dwayne Wade was on a heater and he finished with 29 points. During Game 4 was where things got really interesting. Prior to Game 4, news had come out that Dirk Nowitzki came down with the flu. Dirk was quoted saying, "The night before, at home," and started shivering a little bit. I was thinking, shoot, this might be the biggest game of my life, and I'm here sweating and shivering and frustrated. A less than 100% Dirk would give a huge advantage to the Miami Heat just coming off a win. Unfortunately for the Heat, LeBron James and Dwayne Wade decided to poke the bear again. Footage was released of them mocking Dirk's illness prior to Game 4.
Oh, did y'all hear me call? I think I'm sick. Hey, this weather, man. Weather is crazy. It's hard to go from 85-degree weather and then go to 90.
The basketball guys must have decided enough was enough.
Release the Kraken!
LeBron James would go on to have the worst performance in probably any game of his life. Attempting only 11 shots, he struggled to finish at the rim. His jump shot abandoned him, and he just wasn't aggressive, even against smaller players. To make matters worse, he didn't have a single point in the fourth quarter. He finished with only 8 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists, which most likely cost his team the game. Game 5 was another dogfight where the Mavericks really started to take control. Things got real shaky when Dwayne Wade had to leave the game after hurting his hip. He'd eventually return and try to put the team on his back. Unfortunately, the Mavericks weren't gonna be denied. To make matters worse, the best player in the world, LeBron James, had another nightmare fourth quarter. He only had 2 points and only took 4 shots. LeBron would finish with the triple-double, but it was shocking to witness another unassuming fourth quarter. It was evident that this wasn't the LeBron James we were accustomed to witnessing. The Mavericks took Game 5, putting all the stakes on Game 6. It was win or go home for the Heat, and they came out firing. LeBron came out strong, scoring 9 points in the first quarter. Unfortunately, the Bear was fully out of the cage. The Mavericks were on a mission, playing team ball and completely demoralizing Miami. LeBron James would finish with 21 points, but the basketball gods had spoken. The Heat would go on to lose Game 6 and the series. This was one of the worst finals collapses in NBA history. The NBA's best player, LeBron James, had one of the worst finals performances of any all-time great ever. The Heat would go on to win 2 championships in the following 3 seasons, so it looks like they learned their lesson. Key takeaway: don't poke the bear. It never ends well. Anyways, we appreciate you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. See ya.